Welcome back to the channel, and this is my review of France versus South Africa. So this is the last match of the quarterfinal phase, and it's been quite dramatic as expected, and this one is no exception. Dupont is back. He's had the operation about just under 3 weeks ago, and he's back in the side, and right from the off he starts pulling the strings. Lots of little kicks in behind, and France almost go over in the corner straight away within a couple of minutes of the match starting. So already warning signs for South Africa. Although France don't get over initially, they get an attacking line out, an absolutely amazing driving maul from the line out, and they smoke the South African defense. The ball goes to the blind side from Dupont. Obviously, everything went through him, as he usually does, and it goes out to Sid Albai, and he flops over in the corner, and it's kicked by Ramos, and it's 7-0 already with about 3 minutes gone. So South Africa actually do get a bit of possession, and Lebok, who looked good from the start, puts in a huge high kick, which they targeted the French defense with, and the French let the ball bounce, and it bounces straight into Arensa's arms, not the guy who wanted to catch a ball in the loose, and he just steams over and no one can catch him. And South Africa score their first try of the game, so now it's kicked, and it's 7-7. South Africa back in this match, and they go on the attack, and the young guns for them, particularly Lebok and Arensa, looking really good, and they put France under some pressure. Lebok puts in another big crossfield bomb, so definitely a tactic they've worked out before the match. And this time it falls to Dialende, who actually steams through, shows some good pace actually. Peter Steph-Toy is there as ever to support. They recycle the ball, and Dialende gets back in the line and receives the ball at the first receiver on the blind side, and he gets over for a try. So absolutely fantastic start, and South Africa done well to turn this game around early on in the first half. So at 12-7 to South Africa, France go back on the attack, and it was like there was a seesaw in the first half. It was back and forth all through the first half, absolutely fantastic. But there's a fantastic moment where the two captains, Khaleesi and Dupont, have their ball on the hand at the base of a ruck, and they both look to the referee to see if the ball is out, and the referee just shrugs as if to say, yeah, it's out, you can play it. And then they just go at each other and just try and rip the ball out, and it's just a little great moment in the game, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. France are down the South African end and get a penalty, and surprisingly Dupont just goes really quickly, tap and go, and he feeds the hooker Malvaka, who's poaching on the wing. And he had a great actual first half, and lots of great carries, and he gets over for a try. So it's 2 tries apiece now, a crazy start to the match. The insanity continues with the conversion attempt, because Colby charges it down, and I can't remember the last time I've seen this. Maybe playing club rugby, maybe back in the day, but that very rarely happens. I heard through the grapevine there's been some controversy about where Colby started off, but I haven't seen anything about that. But a great play by Colby, nevertheless, in the heat of the moment there. And kick is charged down, so 12-all. France do have the ascendancy, but the turnover threat from South Africa is always there, and they do get a turnover in midfield, and I think it's Jesse Creel toes it forward down the left hand side of the pitch, and Colby runs onto it and nobody can catch him, and he actually flies over for a try. So that's South Africa's 3rd try now, so they go back into the lead. At 19-12, France are trying to get back in the match, and they do well. They get down again the other end and put South Africa under pressure, and a lot of that comes from the amazing carries from Dante in the midfield. He was absolutely superb in the first half. He smashing the ball up the middle and really taking the South Africans on physically. They get an attacking line out, and eventually from that they power over for the try. So it's just crazy. The pace is unbelievable, and surely they can't maintain this the entire match. So at 19 all, the drama is not over yet. The halftime whistle is approaching, but Eban does get a yellow card for a accidental head contact. Looking at it, it's a tough one. Obviously, with head contacts, you're never really sure these days what's going to happen with them. But I would say it's probably going to stay a yellow. It was accidental and a little bit of mitigation there. So South Africa down to 14 men going into the second half. Ramos slots the penalty, makes it 22-19 just before the halftime whistle. And I've got to say, this is one of the best first halves I've ever seen. Absolutely fantastic attacking rugby from both sides, and real pleasure to watch. The time flew by, and it was one of those games you can't believe what's happening. South Africa did really well to counter France's very deliberate attacks, and they look great on the counter attack. So they've managed to not stay in the match, but really contest this first half, and France have thrown everything at them. Rightly so, South Africa with 14 men tried to slow it down a little bit, kicked the touch a little bit more than they have been doing, and particularly the first half where it seemed to be in play constantly. And it works well for them. France are trying to up the tempo and go on the attack, but a few handling errors now are starting to let them down a little bit. South Africa start to bring on some subs, and Faf and Pollard come on, amongst others, and you're just wondering whether they think these old heads now, these experienced guys, can bring home the game for South Africa. France do get another penalty and go for the post and kick it, and the score is 25-19. So like a 6-point lead with about 15 minutes to go. The momentum switches back to South Africa, and Quagga Smith, who's come on, makes an absolutely fantastic carry, leg drive, pumps his legs, makes about 5-10 meters up the middle, and France eventually get hands on it and manage to turn it over. But these will be a little bit warning signs for France now. South Africa get a scrum penalty and kick to the corner, and there's a turnover for France, but France can't seem for this little period to get out of the half. So South Africa are doing very well to keep France pinned back here, and they're unable to exit effectively. Whereas the first half was dominated by two fantastic attacks, the second half is being dominated by two fantastic defences. So it's really intriguing rugby match at the moment, and I'm not sure which way it's going to go. So the French scrum is struggling a little bit and starting to cough up more and more penalties. South Africa get a penalty relatively close to the posts, and it's a big decision. They opt to tap and go. It looks a little bit disorganized, to be honest with you, and they seem to be just playing it off the cuff. Forwards tap and take it up the guts, and the ball comes out to Eban, who is not going to be denied today, and he absolutely powers over the line with 3 players on his back, and he's just not taking no for an answer. And South Africa get a great try. So it's 26-25, and Pollard gets another penalty for South Africa, and they go further into the lead, 29-25. So what can France produce now to get back in this match, because they need something? So this is perhaps the key moment of the game that I saw. France do play well to get back into contention to score a try and maybe win this thing. They have a penalty in a very, very similar position to South Africa had 5-10 minutes ago, and it's a big call from Dupont, and he decides to go for the posts. Of course, it's an easy kick for Ramos, but South Africa went for the tap and go and got over for the try, the 7 points, but France played more conservatively, and you're wondering now, will that have an effect on the final outcome of this match? Should France have gone for it there? At 29-28 is 1 point in it, and good territory play again from South Africa. But France go for it and throw everything into the attack. They make a good counter break, it gets turned over, get the ball back, and then they put the phases together. But you know, stout defense from the South Africans, and they managed to hold out the French and get a turnover. Colby absolutely smashes it into the stands, and yeah, that is it. France go down by 1 point to South Africa, and yeah, they're out of their own World Cup. So yeah. So in summary, the old heads of the South African squad and the young guns really worked well together today. I think all the players kind of upped the ante in terms of their personal performances. Libok, Arenza, and particularly their centres, Dialende and Creole. I thought they were fantastic. And they were playing against a very fired up and a very powerful Dante in the French midfield too. But they had a fantastic game, both of them. Yeah, so South Africa, again, defence wins you games, and they certainly won this game today. France, on the other hand, they put a lot into the match, made it a great contest. They had a lot going forward. Peno, a little bit disappointed not to get in the match more, I think. Dupont played well. Of course, he's great kicking and pulling the strings, and the outside half, Jalibert played really well, but they just didn't have enough on the day, and it just sticks in the back of my mind, that decision to go for the 3 points there instead of going for the throat, the killer blow. Yeah, that's going to be haunting, I think, Dupont's dreams for the next couple of weeks or so. But yeah, that first half was a spectacular first half of rugby, and one which you're not likely to see again for a long time. Two absolutely amazing teams going at it full steam and full throttle. So very, very enjoyable game. And yeah, South Africa through to the semi-finals again. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching my review. Please like, subscribe, etc., all that other good stuff. And I will see you next time. All right, bye-bye.